Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be going over an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chronograph, reference number 26331OR.OO.D315CR.01. That means this is a rose gold Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph in 41mm with a blue alligator leather strap with the blue dial. Alright, we'll be going over the case, dial, the bezel, the movement, as well as the strap here and the wearing experience, and I'll make my case for why you should probably pick up this watch instead of the newer one. Alright, so now starting off with the case, we have a 41mm case from finger to thumb. That's the diameter there. It has a thickness of only 11mm. Being a chronograph, it's incredibly thin for what you get. That's one of the reasons why you should probably pick this one up. Alright, but I digress. We have the scratch-resistant, glare-proof sapphire crystal on the front, but nothing like that on the back. We have a solid case back there with the sandblasted Royal Oak logo on the back, along with the hallmarks there, as you can see, to show that you are indeed dealing with precious metals, in this case rose gold or pink gold. Alright, now taking a look at the case here, we have an overall just general brush finishing from top to bottom, along the sides from lug to lug. Alright, and also on the front we have from lug to lug once more vertical sand or vertical satin finishing there with a nice high polish little accent there on that bevel. Alright, on both sides going all the way down. Alright, and when we have these pushers nicely high polished on the buttons with a nice satin brush finishing going all the way around these the pusher holders along with the crown guards as well. Okay, now taking a look at this bezel, we have the rounded octagonal bezel, same as you would find on any Royal Oak, with the vertical satin brush finishing as well, with that high polish along that first bevel. The second bevel, a nice satin brush finishing going all the way around, and finishing off with that nice tight black rubber gasket. All of this giving you a 50-meter water resistance, so I wouldn't take this further than surface swimmable. Maybe, in your backyard pool, but that's about it. Don't take it any deeper than that. Okay, we have the 8 hexagonal Royal Oak screws on the front, making it very distinctive, certainly a Royal Oak thing, and all of these slots all facing each other so that you have that sort of gestalt visual perception principle of closure. So you have these screws sort of making a concentric circle all within this bezel. So very smart of AP to do that. And taking a look down closer at this dial now, we have this Grande Tapisserie pattern with all this guilloche patterning and finishing on this dial to give it that really sunburst, sunray type of look. So as it plays in the light, it's very, very distinctive, very, very beautiful as well. Very nice deep value of blue as well on this dial, with these gold sub counters with the gold applied indices and the gold Royal Oak hands all sort of shining forth and being raised off of this blue background. All right, with the date aperture at the sort of like a 445 position, 430 position technically, with a matching blue background, nice clear white font there for its number, and all the way at the very bottom of the visual hierarchy scale, we have the second track there with the minutes as well, should you use them, with all of the tiny little pieces there to work with the chronograph. Speaking of the chronograph, we have the chronograph dials, the sub-dials, the 30-minute and 12-hour dials at the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions respectively. And we also have a small seconds sub-dial with a small seconds hand rather, at the 6 o'clock position. Right, now taking a look at how all of this works, rather simple. Simply unwind the crown to the first position. This allows you to wind the watch. So if you're at a dead stop, about 20 to 30 full winds is all you really need to get up to your full power reserve. Once you start feeling that damping starting to ramp up, that's when you know you've reached the end. All right, pull the crown out to the next position, and you can actually advance the date by 1. It's about somewhere about a third of a turn to advance the date by 1, maybe closer to a half turn. All right, so this is not for time travelers, but certainly if you find yourself near the end of the month. So for example, you have a 30-day month, you can just simply turn it once and you're good to go. All right, and the next day will be the first, and it will automatically switch there. All right, pull the crown out to the final position, and note that the seconds hand is still going. No hacking movement here. All right, but if you notice, if you move the minute hand backward just slightly, apply a little bit of pressure, it will actually stop that seconds hand, so you can then synchronize that seconds hand to an atomic clock's seconds, right? And be sure your minute hand is behind where it is, the current time. Then just simply move it forward and place it where it should go. Press the crown all the way back in, right? And screw the crown in nice and tightly to ensure that water resistance, right? And going further with these functions, we have the chronograph functionality here. The column wheel allows, and the vertical clutch allows for this to actually just take off right wherever it stops. No stuttering, no weird movements. It's just a crisp and clean stop. Also, the actuation is kind of far down there, so you will have to push this in a little bit more toward the end. But it's a nice soft click, not a huge chunky crunch to start and stop it. Also note that the 30-minute subdial does tick each time it goes all the way around. It's not a gradual change, right? And once the full revolution has occurred on this subdial, the 9 o'clock subdial will tick forward 1/2 of an index counter there, because this is a 12-hour dial. All right. Now, to stop it, just simply press the top pusher again, press the bottom pusher to reset both the chronograph hand as well as the subdials there. All right, nice and easy. All right, and so what makes all of this work? It is the self-winding caliber 2385. Again, you can't see it through the case back. You have just a solid case back here, but it is in there, I assure you. It has the chronograph functions with the hours, minutes, both center mounted, with the small seconds at the 6 o'clock, with the date aperture at the 4:30. It has 37 jewels with 304 total parts, with a diameter of 26.2 millimeters. Keep that in mind, 26.2 millimeters. This is a 41 millimeter watch, so about a little over half the size of this watch. Very, very small portion of this watch actually is the movement underneath. Beats at a frequency of 3 Hz or 21,600 vibrations per hour, so relatively standard for a Royal Oak. And altogether, it gives you a 40-hour power reserve. It has a winding rotor on the inside, so simply all you need to do, just simply wind the watch using the crown, and wearing the watch will keep it wound up to that power reserve. 40 hours, something that you can wear every day, but for a rose gold or yellow gold, any sort of gold watch, you may probably want to reserve for a special occasion. For steel watches, you can certainly wear them every day, not too flashy. All right. Now, taking a look at the framing here of this watch, let me zoom out a bit. We have this nice blue alligator leather strap with matching blue stitching on the sides there. Nice large scales starting from the case and going down to the end here. We have scales getting progressively smaller with the Audemars Piguet wordmark logo on that clasp there. All right, and it's also a pinhole system, so you can simply just adjust it wherever on the fly. All right, and the folding clasp is the AP folding clasp, so you can see the letters A and P sort of nicely elongated to fill that clasp length. All right. Also, we have 2 minder loops here. The outermost one being adjustable. If you have a smaller wrist, you can move it upward to prevent this this other side of the strap from flopping around a little too much. And while we're here, I can actually try it on, give you some of my thoughts as to how it feels on the wrist. All right, now with this bracelet or this strap system, place the bottom first and then have the top fold over. And you should be able to see the Audemars Piguet logo upright on your wrist. And looking at it there, 41 millimeters on my wrist, kind of big. All right, so I have a 7-inch wrist, about 18 centimeters. All right, so I get plenty of flaring of this strap with lots of room underneath the lugs. So if you have a wrist as, you know, about my size or even smaller, you'll get plenty of breathability. A leather strap will certainly feel just fine. You probably won't even need to adjust it all that much because, well, plenty of breathing room. You don't really need to worry about the sweating. All right, but if you have a larger wrist than mine, your lugs will probably fit a little bit closer to the wrist, and you may need more venting of this this strap. So that while the leather strap is probably not the best option for breathability, it does give you that excellent dressy look. And with this thinness of 11 millimeters for a watch like this, all the functionality you get and all the looks of these, you know, the subdials with all of these index hour markers on this blue background, the presentation overall is just absolutely stunning. All right, very, very good, very luxurious look, very luxurious feel, very smooth on the bottom as well. Okay, and taking a look at how it looks on the wrist. Also, let me show you what it looks like with the lights out. We have that nice luminescence on all of those index markers, as well as the Royal Oak hands, all matching together, with the inner bezel very nicely high polished, reflecting inwards, so it gives a very distinctive look depending on the angle that you look at it. All right, so very nice and very easy to read, and the luminescence actually stays for quite a long time. Okay, let me turn the lights back on so you know what I'm talking about here. And again, 41 millimeters on my wrist. Well, plenty of flaring of this bracelet makes it, you know, very easy to see the framing of this bracelet around the case, but it's a little bit big for me. But if you have a larger wrist than I do, then certainly this is a very good contender. And why this is a good contender, I believe, when compared to the newer version, let me see, let me pull up the reference number here. It is the 26331OR, the updated version of this very watch. Again, rose gold, blue, all blue. The only difference for that one is that it has a newer movement, the 4401 movement. The movement of that one is 32 millimeters, so it fills in this this case a lot better than this one. This one is only like 26 millimeters in diameter. The newer version is the 32 millimeter diameter with a date aperture actually farther out, closer to the edge, with the sub counters for these chronograph dials actually raised a little bit to allow for more room for the small seconds to be the same size and a little bit more outward. So while that version of the watch, the newer version, does have a higher power reserve, 70 hours, it has a flyback chronograph as well, but the presentation, to me, is not quite as good as this one, because what I like about this dial is that the chronograph dials are actually perfectly in line with the 3 and 9 o'clock positions. If you draw a straight line straight through the center, it's perfectly symmetrical in terms of the vertical symmetry. The top and bottom equally the same. It's fine that the small seconds hand is actually small down here. Most people aren't actually counting seconds all that much. And if you are, you're using the chronograph, right? So it's not too big of a deal that this chronograph dial, or that the small seconds dial, is so small. And it doesn't really matter all that much that it's not a hacking function here, because if you're paying attention to seconds, you can just use the chronograph hand. All right, simple enough. Also, the good benefit to having this version over the newer version is that the newer version has an exhibition case back. On this one, you have solid gold, excellent gold content here, so you are getting what you pay for, 100%. Plus, you can't say no to that excellent sandblasting with that nice high polished finish of that Royal Oak logo there, very nicely placed dead center. All right, with all this extra finishing, just so much extra work put into this, with, you know, a lot of care and, you know, intelligence from Audemars Piguet. And certainly when gold content matters, it comes in this form, solid gold. And so I would say that this watch, if you're looking at it as an investment, from an investment standpoint, this one will much more likely appreciate in value much more than the newer model, which has the exhibition case back, less gold content, you know, I would say a little bit lighter potentially, but the movement on this one, while it may possibly lack in the power reserve category, if you're wearing this every day, it's not going to matter to you. If you're not paying attention to seconds all that much, just use a chronograph. Doesn't really matter all that much. So what matters is that the gold content, and also on the newer version, the superseding version is actually a 12.38, almost 12.4 millimeter thickness. All right, so that basically increases the size of the case by almost 1.5 millimeters. All right, so in comparison, the newer version, kind of chunky. If you have the Royal Oak Jumbo at only like 8 millimeters in thinness, you'll have this one 11 millimeters in my hand at about medium, and then you have the Royal Oak Offshores, which are upwards of 14 millimeters. So quite a huge chunker on the wrist. Those don't fit under a suit cuff, but this one will at 11 millimeters in thickness. The newer version, so 12.38, you may actually struggle to get that under a suit cuff, but this one, no problem. And certainly with this leather strap, this will fit any sort of luxurious, sort of very formal sort of attire. And also, while this version of the watch does actually have an integrated rose gold matching bracelet, you can pick up this leather version for much less, close to 30K cheaper. And when you're ready, you can actually buy a bracelet from us at Jazz Time for, you know, about the higher 20K, at least as of the moment, as of the recording of this video. You can get one of the rose gold bracelets placed on here, and you will get your gold content there and additional breathability when wearing. You have the flexibility there, all thanks to these lug screws that are in here, so you can simply just unscrew it, take it out. It's a very easy switch, right? No problem there. Just 4 screws, just unscrew them, take them out, put in the new bracelet, and put the screws back in. Nice and easy. All right, so that's about my case for the watch, why I prefer this one over the newer version. All right, so if you have any ideas or any comments, if you have your own ideas on why this one would be better, or maybe you like the newer one, let us know down in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, as it also helps our channel out. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video like this one. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch, soon to be discontinued, or the newer version, starting up production as of this year at least, we can get either of them for you, or even both if you can't make up your mind, at jazztime.com. Links in the description below. Your buying links down there. Hit the buy now button to secure yours. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in Jazz Time, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.